Founder, Coach Rambabu. The virtual stage is yours, sir.
Thank you so much. This is question answer segment. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, or even you can ask directly. And let me take first Joyful Jagadish sir to ask a question, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I know that you gave a lot of nuances how to have a good emotions. There are many. Can you just suggest one or two which we can practice daily?
Sir, they say laughter is the best medicine, sir. Laughter is the best medicine and the cheapest medicine. And exercise is again the cheapest medicine. Do these two things, sir. Remaining all four hormones will be super, motivated or super released in our body, and they'll keep us happy and going. And we start, spreading smiles across. They say between the first letter of S and the last letter of S, you can accommodate a mile full of people. That's called smiles. Smiles are contagious. Start, laughing. Start smiling, spreading smiles. That's the best medicine, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your short and sweet answer, sir. Padmaja ma'am, would you like to ask anything, please?
𝐵𝐻 sir, is there any special method to identify the stress according to psychology in small children?
Yes, ma'am. Children start throwing tantrums when they are stressed, when there is difference of opinion. So when yes and no are together, you say yes, children say no, that is where the friction begins, and the friction erupts into, the difference of opinion. It causes stress in them. It will also stress you. As a result, they start throwing tantrums. So best way is, have you ever practiced something called as a bedtime stories? Bedtime stories. Start doing that, ma'am. Children will start falling in line. And they say a family that prays together stays together. A family that eats together stays together. And the only thing connecting all our family members today is the Wi-Fi, the room where there is Wi-Fi. So the family all together should do a fasting. And fasting is not for the food. No Wi-Fi, no Facebook, no Instagram, no WhatsApp, no LinkedIn for one day. The entire family, you see how peaceful that will be. Children will come and fall bonding with each other. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful answer. Thank you, ma'am, for a beautiful question. Now, I would like to invite Coach Sujata Balaji, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Rambabu and Dr. 𝐵𝐻 and all the virtual friends here. Doctor, I would like to ask, because I've heard of this, that stress has a positive effect also. Under what situations do we observe that it is positive?
Yeah. See, ma'am, stress is actually categorized into two types, called as a eustress and distress. If stress is moving you towards your goal, that is called as eustress. For example, tomorrow I have an exam, I have to score 100 marks. That is a positive stress, called eustress. And tomorrow I have exam, I am not prepared, I am surely going to fail. That is called distress. There is a thin line which demarcates a eustress and a distress. If I am thoroughly prepared, if I love the subject, then I have eustress. If I thoroughly love doing what I do, that creates eustress or positive stress, and it helps me move towards my goal. Anything that takes you away from goal and creates panic because you're not prepared, or you're not organized, or you're not, you don't know how you plan your steps towards your goal, that causes distress. That's the thin line map. The best way to understand is, are we moving towards the goal or are we going away from goal? If we can differentiate this, we get to know whether it's a positive stress or negative stress, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you for that insight.
Thank you, ma'am. Danu Razwani from Mauritius. Could you please ask something?
I would like to ask you, do you think that this depression, suicidal tendencies, anger, all these emotions that come up, the negative emotions that come up, are due to parental upbringing? Because parents are so busy, they don't have time enough for their children. Maybe they can just give them a sweet, okay, now keep quiet. Don't bother me. But the child's answer has not been given. And the child is getting more and more frustrated.
Yes, ma'am. Your question has three sub-questions in it, ma'am. One is parental upbringing. Yeah, they say that, if parents are following the correct path, children will also follow them up. They mimic, right? So first of all, parents should establish a proper testimony before the children, or before their siblings, or before their family. So a father was smoking a cigarette and he was telling, smoking is very bad. So I'm not setting a precedent, I'm not setting an example, and you're asking the son not to smoke. That's one. Second thing is, ma'am, as you rightly said, not giving time to family is another important aspect where there is a break of connection between the parents and the children, which is causing a huge gulf, not gap, but I call it a gulf. And the gulf is widening, widening, widening. Because they say generation gap, sir, मेरे बच्चे मुझे नहीं समझते, और मेरे बच्चों को मैं जो बोलती हूँ वो समझ में नहीं आता है, बिकॉज हम अलग जनरेशन के हैं, वो अलग जनरेशन के हैं. बट रिमेंबर, जैसे सास भी कभी बहू थी, पेरेंट्स भी कभी बच्चे थे. सेम टाइम. In olden days, everybody did not have watch, but they had time. But now, unfortunately, everybody has a watch, but no time. It's only prioritizing. It's only prioritizing. That, I mean, in olden days, they were not 48 hours. Now it is not decreased to 24 hours. It's the same. But the difference is we stopped prioritizing. For me, my serial time, watching serial time is very prime. My children are not important. Then you are called a serial killer if someone comes and disturbs you. So where are we giving time? Where are we trying to understand what the child is feeling? And third thing that you asked, ma'am, yes, when we try to snub what they are expressing, they start telling others. And if they don't tell others, then it starts, welling up in their own self. That will lead to suicide. Suicides are silent, madam. Silent in the sense they don't declare, today I'm going to die. They die and then they leave you a note. It's happening because nobody is listening to them. Start listening. Listening is an art. If parents were to listen and communicate with children, the world could be a different place to live altogether. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful answer and a beautiful question by Danu ma'am. Sir, good morning. You please.
Okay, thank you, Coach, and Ebenezer Sir. Thank you for your presentation. My question is related to depression, stress, or anxiety in a certain location. So, I was blessed and fortunate to live in third world country and in first world country. And I don't know if you notice, in first world countries, stress, frustrations, anxiety is more common. Why do you think, despite living in a rich country, people in these countries, they are more depressed than in the third world countries, if you notice?
Right, Mr. Eric, good morning to you, first of all. Wonderful question. Now, government which is at the helm of affairs is only worried about the development of country in terms of monetary aspects rather than thinking about the mental well-being of people. A big question that all of us have to ask, and which is being now asked by World Health Organization and even one of the SDGs of the UNESCO and UNO, talk about mental well-being. Is a government or a society creating an opportunity to improve the mental well-being of that particular country is very important. You have money, you have opportunities, you have everything, but there is lack of reality in relationships. there is lack of me time, and there is lack of social connect. We are virtually connected. I just wanted to share you something which really happened, and now which is also very common across. One of my groups on the WhatsApp. One of my friends, he shared a wedding invitation of his daughter and said, "Please, all of you are invited. This is my personal invitation. Please come and join the wedding of my daughter." And another friend who is very witty, he just wrote back, "Here is the gift." Virtually, he sent the gift and said, "Please enjoy." That means the physical connect is breaking, sir. The one-to-one connect is breaking. Now everybody is connected to everyone over a virtual platform. Sir, one big question is, we have so many friends on Facebook, but why isn't anyone listening to what's happening to me in person? That is, if I post something on the Facebook saying I have achieved this, you get a lot of clap emojis, you get a lot of thumbs ups, and a lot of bouquets, a lot of cakes, and a lot of these things are coming up. But instead of all that, just call up and say wonderful achievement. A call is away. Now, when I talk about this, sir, society is becoming very virtual, and this virtual world, what's happening is there is no true relationship which is being established between person to person. And if it is happening in a home, which is a miniature society, and if it is happening in a colony or a location, it's happening in a state, and it's happening in a country, God only should save such countries, sir. I just give you few examples, sir. One is not, one of the countries in Asia where there is a one-person regime, where people are not allowed to smile, people are not allowed to have a kind of a haircut, people are not allowed to crack jokes, people are not allowed to draw cartoons. Now, where do they vent out their frustration? So it's high time even governments realize that there is a point where even the governments have to come down and establish some kind of rapport or some kind of programs that can uplift the mental well-being of the society or the country itself. Otherwise, that country would become some banana land or banana continent with only virtual things happening, not the reality. I hope I have answered this, Mr. Vaughn.
Yes, sir. Dr. Ebenezer, sir, for your wonderful and appropriate answers for the audience. I would like to hand over the floor to back our host, Coach Rashmi Rathi.
Thank you so much, sir, for that incredible tiny talk session.